What's up, everybody? Steve Sallustio's here with another exciting episode of Eagles on the Air. Salesian High School is the school that prepares for life. And all these episodes of Eagle on the Air, I try to bring you exciting guests or somebody that's going to bring something different to the table. I'm very excited about the guy I have today. Somebody I taught, somebody I've stayed in touch with, stayed very close to. And that person is from the class of 2011. My guest is Mr. Kevin Punter. Kev, thank you for coming on.
No problem. How are you?
I'm doing great, and we've been talking a lot recently, and so I'm happy that you finally got on here. Quick little intro before we get started. Kevin is playing professional basketball with FC Barcelona overseas. He was recently inducted into the Salesian High School Athletics Hall of Fame. He wasn't able to make it because he was in season, so he had Mr. Spencer Boateng accept the honor and give a speech on his behalf. But Kevin's back in the States right now for a little bit, so we got him here. We have a little reception planned for later tonight to give him that honor, and we're lucky enough that you got a few minutes to jump on this podcast with us. I ask everybody who comes on here, whether it's a teacher, a parent, a student, whoever it is, I ask them the same question. I ask them, what is their Salesian story? I said, where did you come from? How did it come about? So without further ado, I'm going to shut up here. I'm going to hand it over to you, and I'm going to ask you, Kev, what is your Salesian story?
Can I be 100% honest here?
Listen, this is Salesian's podcast here. We got great editors, by the way. Why not you? Best editors in the business. Honesty is what we want, baby.
So when I originally applied for Salesian, I didn't get accepted. So I had to then do an interview because my mom was she wanted me to come here so bad. And as a 12, 13-year-old, I didn't get accepted. Okay, no problem. We move on. But I ended up doing it was an interview process I did. And I got accepted right on the spot. So that was kind of like my welcome to Salesian moment. You know, I didn't expect I was going to be here. I didn't get accepted. And then went through a whole different process with the whole interviews and stuff like that, and they got to see who I was, meet my parents, and then it changed. So that was like the start of everything right there.
So from the very beginning, even before, because I know you came from the Bronx.
Yep.
How did you learn about Salesian? How did you become interested in even coming here?
I ain't gonna lie, I don't know. I guess my mom. I honestly, truly don't know. I was growing up in the inner city. So you have those schools that's around more your neighborhood. So I wasn't too sure. I really honestly would have to ask my mom because I think she told me, but I forgot. Basketball
is obviously a very big part of your life. You're still playing,
yep.
And not just playing. You're one of the best players right now in the EuroLeague, which is just incredible. But back to what I first said in the intro, I don't know you as the Pro Bowl player and we're going to get to all this stuff. I still remember Kevin, the 9th grade kid, walking into my math class. And I said this when I was inducting you into the Hall of Fame. I didn't know what to expect because I got calls from the coach, the AD, like, hey, just keep an eye on this kid. We want to make sure that he's not in a bad way, in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, we want to make sure that he stays academically eligible. We want to just make sure that he stays on point. And I was like, I got nervous right off the bat because I'm like, oh God, this kid's gonna be a problem. Like, I don't need this, right away. I was still kind of like a new teacher at the point, but you were incredible. And again, I said this in the induction. You weren't the best math student by far, but you never gave a problem, right? You were never an issue in class. You gave your all, and you got through. And that's all we could have asked.
For sure.
Let's fast forward a little bit through, and let's stick with basketball for a little bit. Mm-hmm. You were on the varsity, if I'm not mistaken, for 3 years.
Yep, 3 years.
I remember you were core 4 back then. Yep. They brought all 4 of you guys up, I think, when you were sophomores.
Mm-hmm.
You, Nick, Mike, and Jason. So how many city championships did you guys pull down?
You want to count JV also?
Yeah, let's count them all.
JV, I want to say 4.
Did you go 4 for 4?
I think so.
All right, let's go. I didn't expect 4 for 4.
You got to fact check it.
I'll take it. We'll fact check it.
I think I got 4 cities. Hold on. I got 4 cities. I got 1 state or 2 states. 1 state.
There was definitely the state that I was
got
there.
A state for sure.
I was there.
I don't have a federation though.
Okay, I was there for that too.
I have everything you can imagine to get.
All right.
But I don't have a federation though.
So I was at the state championship game, and then I remember that year I was asked not as a Salesian employee but as a referee to go work the federations. And so I had to go up there. I'd be like, all right, I'm in, but I can't work this Salesian school because I work there. I had to explain this to the people from Albany. I said, just don't put me on the Salesian games because I work at the school. So I was able to be there as a fan. So I was there, and I believe it was like a putback at the buzzer.
Yeah, it was a tipping.
You guys were like up one,
Yeah.
and it was a tipping.
And
at the
Ardit, I
buzzer.
love you, but I think Ardit missed the box out.
We'll talk to Ardit about that. I
Yeah,
think
we're
we're gonna
talking about it.
I'll hopefully see him later.
I still love him though.
So 2011 rolled around, and it turned out to be everything that we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Because we had a core group of players, a group that was very close to each other, both in school and on the court. And you guys were able to run through the CHSAA. We were able to take that to the city and eventually the state level. But anything special about that year that I want to hear like from you about? Like anything when you
Which
think about
year?
that 2011 team, your senior year.
Man, I know we all came in together. We all played JV together. So even for us to come in together playing JV with I think who was our coach? Was it Ed or John?
You probably had. I'm trying to think of the timeline myself, and you probably had John
I think it was John and Ed.
on the JV. That's John Moresi. John on the JV, and eventually Chris Beal
Bill was
stepped down as the varsity coach, and then you guys stepped in.
Yes.
John followed you guys up
Yes.
with the varsity.
So to go back to your question, we all came in together as 8th graders, coming in as 9th graders.
Yep.
With that core, whether it was John, Ed, whatever the case was, and we kind of followed that blueprint and how we worked, how we practiced, the mentorship that Ed and John gave us, just the coaching, just the good days, bad days. Like we did like you said, we did everything together on and off the court. So like by the time we got to our senior year, it was like no other. Everything was free flowing, everything was easy. We've been playing with each other for 4 years.
Yeah, I remember watching you guys because especially like the kids knew that I was like a ref, so they asked me all the time to come to their games, and you guys were a very enjoyable group to watch because you all played well together. They weren't just like beating up on teams. You all played really well together.
And we worked out together. So you always gotta remember. So we did AAU together a little bit. We played in the street tournaments together when I think the schools had different tournaments around the city. So we always played together, even in the summertime. So obviously it translated to in season. So yeah.
Yeah, and you could really tell. And you had one of the best basketball careers, not of recent memory, but in Salesian history.
Yeah.
All right, you're probably one of the best basketball players to come out of here. And that led to a couple of things for you. Now, I talk to the kids, I talk to the athletes all the time, and they, everyone has a mentality, which I like, that they're going to go play Division I ball. Yeah. And it's not a given, and it's not easy. So real quick, take me on your path. I'm not going to say where you went to school and what you accomplished there. I want you to tell us. So what was your path like once you graduated? Once you put the cap and gown on, you got your final transcript. You graduated from Salesian High School successfully.
To make a long story short, as much as possible, I was in a position in my life at that point in time in which I wanted to go D1, but I really wasn't a D1 player. I was also hearing I'm not a D1 player, so that was kind of like messing with my confidence a little bit. Didn't have the body size just yet. I was still extremely skinny then. Didn't have no offers or anything. Didn't have the grades. So then looking at it now, it's like you don't have a shot. So I ended up going to prep school because that was the only way to kind of get back to the Division I side of things. So I went to prep school for my SATs. Bombed that again. Couldn't figure that out. I didn't took that too many times. So couldn't figure that out. So then this thing called JUCO comes up, which is short for junior college. That comes up. I know nothing about junior college. Nothing. I don't know anything about it. I don't know nothing. So being that I didn't have the grades, I have to do 2 years. If I was eligible, I can just do one if I have to school and leave. So because I didn't have the grades, they're like, okay, you have to do 2 years of junior college. I don't know what junior college is. So now we go down a path of trying to figure out the whole junior college journey and what's this and how to go about it and this and that. Long story short, we end up finding a junior college and Sedalia, Missouri. Never been to the Midwest. Even when I went to prep school, never been to Raleigh, North Carolina, because I was in Raleigh, North Carolina. So now I catch myself going a little further from home, going to the Midwest. And at that point in time, I just don't know what basketball looks like. You go from being the best player in high school to maybe about 3 years after that, no one really knows what's going on with you because it's kind of in the weird space of basketball in school. So I go to junior college for 2 years. My first year was solid. And my second year I just explode. End up being McDonald's All-American, junior college All-American or whatnot, and have every school you can imagine, down to Texas, Mizzou, SMU, University of Tennessee, South Carolina. I had every school you could pretty much imagine. And then that's kind of like where things, it's like I came alive again. Mm-hmm. So like I went to Salesian in 3 years, kind of like Ghost, and then out of nowhere, it's like, oh, that's the one from blah, blah, blah. So and I ended up going to Tennessee for 2 years, played for Donnie Tyndall, and then I played for Rick Barnes. And then that was kind of like my school journey with that, Even my senior year, even having the chance to go to the NBA and, just taking calls of the possibility to be, a late first round pick, and all of those things was just surreal at that time because you work so hard to be in those moments. And then you always dream to be in the NBA. But when you get a call saying like it's a real thing or it's possible, that changed my entire mindset. Like you train so much to get to that point, but it's like you still don't think it's real. But in my age to this day, is like when he called me and said, yo, like we can go late first round if we finish our season strong and this and that. He said, we're looking at late first round. I'm having scouts come into school, watch me practice, things of that nature. So I'm just like, okay, this is a real. I just got and I'm averaging 20-something points at the time. I think I'm either first or second in scoring. I think I'm second in scoring at the time, and I'm killing it, So that was like a surreal moment for me at that time. I was like, man, like this is what it feels like to. So I got to keep going harder, And then obviously I break my foot and so on and so forth. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you just said that because I was actually going to bring that up. I knew it because I was following you very closely. If you work in a school and you work in a school as small as Salesian, you get to know these kids and you get to become very close to them. And so when one of them is on a national stage, obviously I'm locked in. At the time I was watching every one of, I'm a big basketball fan to begin with, so I was watching every one of Tennessee's games, and you went down with your foot at the point where I think you were going for like 24, 25 a night or something like that.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, you were leading the SEC in scoring. I think it was I'm almost positive like you were number one in scoring at the time.
Second. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So you're locked in, right? And that's what I like to hear. You found that point where you were like, wow, now's the time to lock in.
Exactly.
So what happened? So we graduate from Salesian. We got to go by road. Now, athletes could be watching this right now and being like, is that what you have to do? Because the nature of high school and college and professional ball has completely changed. NIL has changed everything.
Completely different now.
And the transfer portal has changed everything. So reclassing. Way back when, you didn't know what reclassing was. That wasn't a thing. And now all these things have come in. But this was what we're talking about, Kevin Punter's path right now. And it was from Salesian to the JUCOs to a high Division I, a power conference. Yeah. Everybody knows what the University of Tennessee is. Everybody knows what colors they wear. It's a very distinct school. All right, so it's draft day. Now what happens up into the NBA draft? Because I want to get into like present day too.
So I break my foot.
Yep.
Immediately I knew my season was done. Immediately I knew I think my chance of going to the NBA is over.
And I think that was like during the SEC tournament, or it was like before the NCAA tournament.
So we was playing Kentucky on the road. We had like a double week that week. We was playing Kentucky on the road, and we had to come back and play LSU or something along those lines. Now I just remember going into the Kentucky game, my foot wasn't feeling right. I was on layup line limping then. And if you go back and watch the film, you can see I was not moving correctly from the start of the game. Could not move. And I knew then I might not finish the game. I taped my ankles really, really tight at that time to hold the pain together, but that didn't work. So the game is going on. I'm still scoring. I finished with 16 that game still. But it got to the point where I knew we was playing, I think maybe 2-3 days. So I told coach to take me out. I'm like, I couldn't even walk. And I remember going to the back with the strength coach, and I'm limping, like really, really bad. I'm just like, he's like, what happened? I'm like, nothing. My foot wasn't swollen, nothing. So I kind of knew, I'm like, this is not good. And then the next morning I woke up, I couldn't put my foot on the floor, like, at all. And then my foot wasn't swollen or nothing. So I called the team doctor. I was having an MRI. I can't walk. So he came, picked me up, crutches, everything, MRI, fractured foot, navicular. I bust down crying.
Probably the worst news you could possibly. Your season's
For
over,
sure, season.
and this is your senior year.
Senior, and this is, and I already had got the call of, do this, and this, finish strong, we good. I got that call already.
Man,
I got that call already. So now it's like, what do you do?
yeah.
Like, is this down the drain? I don't know nothing about Europe, so I'm not really thinking like that yet. But it's like, you go to the D League? Like I don't know. Can I get back fast in time to work up for teams? Because that was the next thing, is like, I missed out on certain camps. So there's certain things that's important to get drafted, especially in my case, because I would have been, I'm fighting for positioning. So I couldn't do anything no more. So it was like, that I'm going through that. But I end up coming back. I ended up recovering fast enough to I could work out for certain teams, but it just wasn't the same.
No.
It just wasn't the same. When you're trying to rush back from a foot injury and they know you was hurt and so on and so forth. It was tough after that. But then I ended up still getting a summer league situation. And that's like, when I went to summer league with the Timberwolves, the business of basketball changed everything for me. And that's when I started to look at everything a little more differently.
So I mean, in your position, I'm not going to lie. I can't imagine that it wouldn't have taken a lot of guys and just knocked the air out of them.
Yeah.
And just said, you know what, I'm a senior. I gave it my best shot.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
Yeah.
I had a great career. I got myself, with the help of others, I got myself to the SEC. I fulfilled my dream of playing D1 basketball, right? But that wasn't enough. No, we picked ourselves up, and what happened?
Picked myself up and went to summer league. And I just remember those times, just me being on the bed with my foot up, depressed. Just can't do nothing. Off meds, just trying to numb my foot. Foot is up, can't do nothing. Going to see the doctor visits, and I'm just like, I'm not going out this way. There's no way I'm going out this way. Obviously, funny story, I spoke to Kevin Durant because he had the same type of injury I had. So Rick Barnes had put him on the phone, and he kind of just gave me some words of advice and motivation. So it was no way I can get hurt and just stop playing. It was just no way. So for me, it was a matter of, what direction do we go in now? That's the biggest thing. So my agent approached me with my first pro contract. I looked at him like he had 10,000 heads. Because financially, I'm just like, and this was me being ignorant, basketball players aren't supposed to make this much. So I'm not. So he said, you can either do this or you can go to the D League and it's going to be way less and this and that. And I'm just like, so I had to kind of make a business decision, a financial decision, and a decision a decision to play basketball because I wanted to play. I didn't want to sit on no one's bench. I wanted to play. So that's why I kind of took the chance to go to Europe.
Yeah, it's more than all that. It's a life decision because
Exactly.
you're up again. We're still talking about a kid with a family from the Bronx, New York.
And I signed my first pro contract without a passport.
Wow.
But mind you, I didn't really care. So for me, it was one of those like, okay, we gotta get it expedited. But if it's not here in time, then it may be tough for you to go. But at that point in time, I didn't care because I didn't really want to go anyway. So it was just like, if it don't get here in time, oh well. But it ended up getting here in time.
But you got your mind back on basketball. You got that first contract, and I can now say, let's fast forward to present day. You are entering your 11th year playing Pro Bowl in Europe. How many years in the Euro League?
I want to say I'm going into 7.
7th year in the Euro League and killing it right now, right? Like you could be, this is Eagles on the air. This is your old high school kid. You got to be, you're doing good, right?
I'm trying.
I'm not here asking you math questions. I promise you that. I promise you that. Those days are over. But no, you know what? I am so happy for you. I really am. I was telling a bunch of people, and I said, if in my 20 going on 21 years at Salesian High School, if anybody deserved some good fortune, literal and physical, it's Kevin, because you're a great kid. Like to put it as plainly as possible, you're a great kid, And like you said, getting into Salesian in the first place probably wasn't the easiest, and that's the case with a lot of boys. And I've seen a lot of those kids end up on the honor roll. They might have had trouble getting in here because they might have not done well on the tax exam or whatever, and they had to go to the interview. But it seems like from day one, you just kept your head down, did what you needed to do, and got to that next level.
No, for sure.
And I'm proud of you. I really am. As your former teacher, like, I'm very proud of you. I loved watching you on the court. Nobody felt more. I'm sure your parents did, but I kind of want to, But no, let's just say that when I was watching you, especially your regular season games, the SEC tournament, I was like, I taught that kid.
Yeah.
I taught that kid. He's going for 25 a night. He didn't learn how to do that in math class, but I still taught him. So I'm happy, Kevin. Really, a big congratulations on your induction into Salesian High School's Athletic Hall of Fame. We have your jersey from the EuroLeague hanging in our gym. It's going to stay up there as long as that building's up there. So you guys played the very first game. That 2011 team played the very first game in that gym.
It's Iona?
Iona Prep. The game was on way back when, throwback to MSG Varsity. The game was on TV.
Remember that.
You guys won that game. I still have ticket number 001 hanging. I probably do.
If you do,
I probably do. And if I don't have it, I could probably get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like
that would be extremely dope.
As I'm thinking about it, yeah, because we have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of
And I don't care what year. It could be my freshman. It don't matter. I just want to see something, like just to see how it looked then, how I played then, just the whole aesthetic of basketball. I will. Then.
You know what? I'm back.
It was a way different time.
I'd like to let everybody know too that we're filming this on a Sunday. Like it's Sunday right now. I'm supposed to be off, but I'm here with you, Kev. Like I wouldn't come into school and put in some hours for like a lot of other people.
I wouldn't come into school, period. I don't,
But look, I don't want to take a ton of your time, so I want to kind of wrap this up. But I just want everybody to hear Kev's story loud and clear. All right, he did what he had to do when he had to do it. Certainly obstacles along the way, physical obstacles, all right, mental obstacles. And you powered through each of them to get where you are today. You're on a very lucrative contract right now, and happy for you, proud of you. I'm happy to see your jersey hanging up in our gym, and I just can't thank you enough for coming. I know you're living out in LA right now. When you're in the States, you're out in LA. I know you're out in obviously in Europe, spending a lot of time there too. So to get a little bit of your time means a lot to me and everybody at Salesian too.
For sure, I appreciate you, man.
So hopefully, I know that we're going to continue to stay in touch.
Of course.
I finally got the time changes down where I'm not going to. I think I was texting you one time. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning. Because I don't know if it was backwards or forwards.
But that's why I go to sleep with my phone on D&D.
Yeah, you got to. You know what? But I finally put in
your clock.
On my clock, I added Barcelona there. Yeah. I was like, I keep waking this kid up. But I don't want to wake him up.
Trust me, not. My phone is I learned that the hard way.
I know. You gave me confidence though when you told me, don't worry, I'm on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, you good.
But again, I just want to thank you. And all good things to come. Hopefully this. I think you're in the second year of a 3-year contract right now.
Yeah. Going into my second year.
So let's finish up that one strong. Let's get another. Let's keep it rolling, kid.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
I want to thank Kevin. I want to thank Why Not You for coming out here to film us here today. And I want to just extend my congratulations to Kevin and his whole family for everything that's happened on the bright side for him in these past 15 years since you graduated from Salesian. And with that, this is Steve Sallustio over here, and this has been not just an awesome, but one of my favorite episodes of Eagle on the Air.